So these gurus, man, they're just tripping me out, and I've come to the realization that as no matter what they're about, I always go to a guru. Even if they're off their rocker and not quite right with all the facts and everything, I'll check them out. And then when I check them out, I can start finding out, okay, if I don't want to listen to him, who do I get it from? Okay, he's got this concept. Because the one thing I found about all of them is that they're on to something. Like they've got something that they're so riled up about and people are going on about. If anything, I'm like, okay, if I can learn something from this guy, at least let me learn who the maybe the people behind the curtain or the better people are. Sometimes I'll go to a guy's website and I'll look him up and say, "Oh, that's interesting." Then I find his reviews on YouTube or something, and people will say, "You could just read these 5 books from the actual masters." And I'm like, "Boom, that's all I needed. Okay, now I can get rid of this guy and go to the actual source or whatever." But yeah, people who don't have gurus, man, I don't know what to say to them now.
Like I said, I pulled a book, what, a couple of weeks ago back here. What's his name? Was it
Ogilvy.
Oglesby? What? Yeah, he was saying things that they're talking about now. What they have to know and trust you. That was he wrote that in the 80s, and I'm sure he got that from someone else. So it's not like these concepts are hidden because they're principles. They just don't go away. It's just,
Yeah.
but you own a concept that and a principle. And so I think I have something too, but I have to develop it more. Once I have I'll pull out my chapter book, Mr. Benja, and send it to you as well.
Definitely. Alright, now also in that the YouTube interview, I didn't know it was gonna be so long. I didn't know you were into the long interviews because that was like
I can't be
2
like I said, when I got time, I'll go in, man, deep, man. I pause and stuff, and I was on a plane, so that helped a lot. So yeah, it you just gotta get me at the right time for the long interviews. But I knew it was gonna be insightful because I haven't heard Russell been interviewed before. I always see him, hey guys, buy my ClickFunnels, stuff
yeah.
like that. But never seeing him just sit down and get interviewed by anyone. And so that's why I wanted to look at that and see what that was about.
Yeah, he was saying something about AI, and you had pointed that out, but what were you going on about his AI convo in there?
Yeah. You know what? I can't remember now, but I know Ryan Pineda, he had mentioned it's like, okay, what's going to happen when AI takes over? And so what's going to keep people, because AI just automates everything, right? In a sense, and it can do all the back end stuff for you. It can even create AI. We talked about this influencers. And so I think they were discussing along the lines that the way you mitigate against AI community, right? Building raving fans that will follow you anywhere. So yeah, there's an AI bot that can do everything you do, but they just know and trust you more because they rocked with you for so long. And so that's one thing. And then I think Ryan Pineda put like events, creating experiences. That's why in-person events are starting to take on more and more importance in the guru world. All of them have some kind of live event now because they know they gotta get people in a room and see you and talk to you and know that you're a real person, not some YouTube AI bot. So I think Russell Brunson co-signed the whole having a community that rocks with you over time. And so I think that's what he was hinting at, how you beat back the gurus that will be coming that are AI generated.
I do go to Chat GPT and Gemini, I was about to say Bard, and Bing GPT over here.
Mm.
And even Meta AI, I found myself on Instagram, they had a little AI button you can just hit.
Yep.
I found
Yep.
myself in there, and instead of changing apps, I was just like, "Huh, let me ask right here." Boom, they got me. So, yeah, hold on, let me see. I pulled it up a second ago. I wanna see this. Yeah, so I asked, "What does Ryan Pineda have to say about growing your YouTube channel?" And it was just something I thought about and was like, "Huh, let me throw it out here right quick." And yeah, it just jumped into a bunch of his advice and linked to his YouTube page and some other topics.
Oh, that's good. At least they gave him comment. At least they went to his YouTube page, so that's good for him. But was that in the Instagram AI bot, or was that
Oh,
what?
no, that was not Meta AI, that was actually Bing GPT.
Oh, okay. But yeah, but eventually, guess what? You think they're going to be crediting these creators for their content? How do you grow on YouTube? They're going to say, we say it's all the advice that Sean Cannell would get you, right? From Think Media. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
no.
who really looks into the footnotes and reads the bibliography? I didn't start looking into the bibliography till I was, like, 35.
I just need something now. I need something now.
I was like,
Yeah.
I
But I
found
don't know.
tell
It's gonna be interesting, Mr. Benja, because I'm like, how are you? Like when I hear somebody say, okay, this is what you do, I'm like, first I'm like, whatever. Who are you? And then they go into their story. I was just like you. My wife is on her deathbed. My house is being foreclosure. I had no money and I did this. And he like, okay, so he got something. But who are you really? I worked with Grant Cardone and I worked with Gary Vee. Oh, okay. So they start putting all this social proof and transformation talk to you. Then eventually I started to say, okay, I started to trust him more as opposed I know him, but I don't know him. But at least I started to trust more because he's either getting the clout from someone else, they're shining on him, or he told a transformational story that he was just like me. And so if I say, okay, he was just like me and he got there, and all these other folks trust him, then I guess I can give him some money to help me with my thing. I don't know. Can ChatGPT do that? That's the question. Or the AI bots, AI influencers.
yeah, I'm the thing is, and we talked about this a while back, where you can have 2 different opinions or 2 different strategies that both work. Like we were talking about Apple uses they had their executive meetings don't have any notes in them.
Yep.
No one takes notes in their executive meetings. And Amazon does the exact opposite, where to go to a meeting, you have to have the 2-page memo and everything thought out, and printed up, and sent out beforehand. So it's you can have these 2 different strategies that work, and I could see something like ChatGPT just, "Oh, this is a successful company, let me see what they did. This is a successful company, see what they did," and then just give you all this information, but it may not necessarily work as a cohesive strategy. It's just
Mhm,
information going to you. So,
mhm.
that's what I think a lot of these gurus provide. They're like 'cause I was actually talking to a guy who went he was like, "Hey, I'm just trying to get money from doing music and doing YouTube and this and that. Here's how I became the number 1 iTunes artist in France or whatever, and da, and I was like, "Interesting." But he's got a very specific strategy. He's, "Okay, if you're gonna wanna achieve this, don't do that because 'cause it'll mess you up here and there. Do this, and then wait, and once you've reached this point, then do this." And a guru or a specialist is somebody who can tell you those exact steps, when in the right amounts. He can tell you the recipe, not just the ingredient
Yeah.
list. You know what I mean? And I think
Good point. Yeah. Yeah.
ChatGPT would just nail
Yeah.
this.
Can't. Not only that, yeah, they'll just give you ingredient list and then yeah, to your point, the guru can get that nuance that you need to take you to the next level. Cause so I think I told you, I put it on my YouTube just recently. So I was there with David Shands and Myron Golden, and I asked a
Mhm.
question. And I did the question I asked was around that. It was like, how do you know you're going the right direction or you need to pivot? And basically, uh, Myron said in so many words that you need to have a coach that can listen in and give you feedback on how you're doing, and then so you can change in real time. And I think that's really the benefit of having a coach or live person is that they can you know, give you those tweaks that you need based on their experience. And so, for instance, my coach in Meta Ads, he was like, "Oh yeah, we work with a lot of. So this is on average, you should be 1%, which I think any 1% ad should convert that you put out there. But then it's breaking on the creative side. And so here's some ideas on the creative side. He can't give you the exact rule, but based on his knowledge and insight. So basically, you're trying to target doctors. So this is the kind of language you should use. Maybe move this psychology. Maybe moving this button up a little bit higher so they have quicker chance to respond. Instead of red, instead of orange, make it green means go. So it's just like the
Yeah.
psychology and the art that goes into making people think a little bit differently. I don't know if ChatGPT, let's say never, man. AI can get extremely quick pretty
Um,
fast, but
I was about to say, yeah, the fact that they've what was I reading? They've got a program somebody's got a program that's doing basically what Figma does, and
what's it again?
Figma is the software. It's like there's Photoshop, Illustrator, and all those other ones, Premiere. They've got this thing called Figma, and Figma is basically about the user experience, buttons, where stuff goes on the page, layouts, and
Oh,
things like
okay.
that. It can AI generate 17 different versions of something, throw them all out in the web, and whichever one spikes first, start with that one, and then it's basically
Oh, wow.
AIing all the button presses and everything like
Yeah.
that. It's a
Good point.
very it's deeper than it seems. Being in video games, we would always wonder, like, "Why the hell did that guy run through the trees and then go left? Why does everybody go left there?" And you start moving stuff around like the rocks and the visuals and everything, huh, now they're going
And
to
they
the
still
right.
wanna go left. They still wanna go left.
Yeah, it's just there's a certain weirdness about, okay, there's a lot of randomness, but then there's something behind the psychology that's making people say, "No, I'm going right."
Good
Why?
point, because he did mention in the My Guru and Meta, he did say really the highest thing that converts people is the headline. He says you can do split testing on your landing page, one headline versus the other,
Mhm.
or you can put like a bunch of headlines up on face as a Facebook ad and send, 10 different headlines and
Yeah,
see which gets the highest percentage. And so I was like,
yeah,
that's basically testing. And to your point, that's
yeah,
what automation and AI can do extremely well. So
yeah,
anyway, we digress, but it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's going to be a merge of the two. If you can, and that's why I'm starting to learn more on the AI side. If you can, in essence, be the front for all this AI automation, then you can probably beat any guru because you'll just have the data to justify everything you're saying to them. Say, oh yeah, this converts. We did experiment for 1 million users, and of the million, this one got 10,000 views. So this will work.
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Just try it. Shut up and try it. They try it. Oh, it worked. Here's my money.